Okay, so I just bought a couple new books. I wanted to share them because I wanted to do something else besides talk about Marilyn Manson. I decided, hey, I just got a bunch of new books. Why not talk about the books? Why not share what I'm reading? And why not just put it out there? So let's get it. Maniac McGee. I got this book from Amazon on Thursday. I'm pretty much done with it. I have like one more chapter. So yeah, I basically have like 3 more pages to read. I'm just gonna read it after this. So basically, I'm already done with it. By the time this video is uploaded, I'm done with the book. Okay, it's finished. Bonito, great book. It's only about 184 chapters. So I said chapters, pages. I'm not gonna cut it. I'm gonna leave it in there. It's 184 pages. Okay. So as I'm shooting this video, it is Tuesday, so it took me like what, roughly 5 days to read it. Good book. It's about a kid who is homeless. He runs across the west side of town, which is like all white people, and the east side of town, which is like all black people. He just kind of runs between the two of them, kind of like absorbing their cultures and their way of doing stuff. Really funny book. I recommend it. I read this in 6th grade, and it stuck with me. Even though I'm 22 years old right now, nearly like what, 8, 9 years later, I can still recall a lot of the scenes. And I just thought, hey, why not buy the book? Read it again. And I definitely do not regret it. Get this book, Maniac McGee, by Jerry Spinelli. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but whatever. Maniac McGee, awesome book. Catcher of the Rye, really cool book. I read this in high school. I can't really recall that many scenes. I do remember this one scene where the main character, he hired a prostitute because he wanted to have sex. He was horny, but he was shy. He didn't have sex with the prostitute. So then the pimp came and he was like, hey guy, you gotta pay. And he's like, no, I'm not paying. I didn't even have sex with the prostitute. He's like, you gotta pay. I'm like, no, I didn't have sex with the prostitute. And the pimp just like, I think he like beat him up and threw him down a flight of stairs. Something crazy like that. That's the only scene I can recall. But I read this book in high school. I really enjoyed it. I remember enjoying it, but I can't remember what really happened. Besides the scene where the main character gets beat up by a pimp. Actually, that may or may not have happened. It might have been a different book completely. If it is a different book completely, then I am disappointed I got this book. But I'm just joking. I remember enjoying this book, but I just I can't recall specific scenes. I do know it's about like this teenager who's like confused in life. He's like angry. And he just kind of walks around, I guess, just doing teenager stuff. I really, like I said, I can't recall it. But yeah, really cool cover. I haven't read it yet. I'm gonna read this one after I finish Maniac McGee. So as soon as this video is uploaded, I'm gonna be reading this book. Okay, either this book or the 1984 by George Orwell. I just recently found out that this was the same guy who wrote Animal Farm, which is a book I really enjoy. I haven't read this book. I read Catcher of the Rye before, and I read Maniac McGee, but I have not read this book. But I heard good things about it. It's supposed to be like a dystopian future or something. Yeah, dystopian future in '84. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't read the book, but it's like this guy who like rebels against the government. I can't talk too much about this book. I have not read it, but I saw the synopsis on Amazon. I thought, you know what, this is kind of cool. I like the '80s. I like the stories where like the main character has to go against the government and fight for freedom or something. That sounds really cool. It's actually a toss-up. I might read The Catcher of the Rye first, or I might read 1984 first. I'm not really sure. But I'm not sure. Maybe I can read both of them at the same time. I'm probably just going to read Catcher of the Rye first. No, I'm going to read this book first. This is going to be the first book I read. Okay, 1984. Can't speak too much on it. Cover is creepy. Red. Might give a review after I'm done with it. Kind of update you guys, see how I feel about it. And yeah. And the last book I have is Ayn Rand. I can't pronounce her name. Ayn Rand, The Fountainhead. I do know her from Atlas Shrugged. I haven't read Atlas Shrugged, but my dad loves the movies. He he makes my family watch it like a couple times every once in a while, like maybe like once a year. He sits us down and makes us watch the movies. But yeah, the Fountainhead. It's about like this sculptor who makes sculptures. He makes them kind of weird, but the the people, I think he's like at a college or something. But people don't like the way that he makes sculptures, and he kind of has to like fight so he doesn't conform to the way that they make sculptures. It's kind of a cool story. I read this in high school. I really liked it. But look at this. Her name is so much bigger than the actual title of the book. That's how you know she has a giant ego. And I was flipping through the pages because usually when I buy the book, I like to flip through the pages, see what the titles look like, see what the chapter titles look like. And the font is really small. Look at that. That's like Bible font right there. It's way smaller than the other books I got. And it's way larger too, clocking in about 700 pages. This is probably going to take me like a month to finish. It's a thick book. But yeah, I really don't remember that much of it, but I did like the message of like not conforming, doing things your own way, and kind of like fighting against the higher ups or whatever. That always resonated to me in high school. So definitely glad I got this book. I have not read it. Well, I have read it, but I mean like not recently read it. And I'll probably give my thoughts on this book after I finish it. Anything else I want to say? I think that's it, honestly. The reason why I got so many books at one time is because I'm writing a book myself. And I do like to read, but usually I like to read nonfiction things like autobiographies. The autobiography of Malcolm X is my favorite book of all time. And I just thought, you know what? I'm writing a piece of fiction. It makes sense to read novels, right? So I can kind of get like influence. And I know what you're saying. Oh, Josh, that's common sense. Why didn't you do that earlier? Why didn't you do that earlier? Well, like I said, I prefer nonfiction. But the reason I decided to get fiction is so that I can kind of get a better understanding of how to write characters, how to word stuff, how to describe stuff. So that's why I just got a bunch of my favorite books. And also I'm trying to read more this year. I made it my goal to read at least 12 books this year. I want to get back into reading. I've kind of been slacking off on it because I've been in school recently. I used to be a big reader in middle school and high school. But ever since I started college, I just kind of been slacking on reading. I got girlfriend, have to work more, so reading has kind of taken a back seat. Trying to get back into it. I already finished 2 books this year, Maniac McGee, and I finished my Rob Halford autobiography. Like I said, I like to read nonfiction books. Autobiographies are my favorite things to read. And yeah, so those are the 3 books, or I guess 4 if you count Maniac McGee, but those are the 3 books that I just got. Well, yeah, I recently got Maniac McGee's too. So 4 books that I just got. I'm going to be reading them. I'm going to be enjoying them. Hopefully. I don't know about 1984. I haven't read that book. I might hate it. I might love it. But I will definitely give my opinions on the 3 books that I just listed. Not Maniac McGee, but the Catcher the Rye, 1984, and The Fountainhead. So, yeah, peace.